put me between the sets, man.
Thanks very much.
Thank you for doing it. I appreciate it. It's great.
Good to get involved.
Honestly, I'm delighted you say that, especially so soon. I was trying to wait till I built it a wee bit more to ask somebody like yourself, but you jumped at it right away, and I couldn't thank you for it anymore. What's the plan for today?
So this is my first taper session of the week because I'm competing on Sunday. At Scotland's Strongest Man through Ultimate Strongman. So today is just some monster dumbbell. To be honest, I've not even looked at what reps have to be doing yet. I think it's a couple of triples at 75, so nice and easy. Shouldn't be a problem. And then some more press and accessories inside.
Obviously, you're the boss for Taz, so you'll get to show him how it's done today, hopefully. We can put it to him and show him what not to do.
Be quite funny if I drop this one.
Oh, please don't. Please don't. I don't need that. And I'll be the bad luck charm. It's just as well, listen, I'm not going to be there at the weekend for all your sakes, right? So you won't have to drop it in your head at the weekend. You're well known in Scotland for many reasons. We'll get into reasons like that. All good ones, exactly. But for those who don't know, tell us a bit about yourself.
So I'm Chris, the Beef, as everybody knows me. Been competing in strongman in Scotland for 10 years. Done a bit of powerlifting first. Probably most, if you can say, famously known for winning Scotland's Strongest Man 2024. Pretty much done everything in terms of strongman.
Both as well?
Yeah, undisputed.
Undisputed is where we're going.
Shout it loud, but not many people had done it then, and so I think Andy Black, or maybe just Lewis Jack actually, and then me, and then obviously Cam done it last year, so it's still a big deal.
UK's as well?
Yeah, UK has competed, so second place in UK Strongest Man last year. For me, I've maybe not had that many titles as such, but I've been in the game a long time. I've done 8 Scotland's Strongest Man finals, 5 Ultimate Strongman finals, Scottish finals, 5 UK's finals. So it's.
You also came up through the Natties as well, didn't you? I learned that from Taz previously as well. You came up through the Natties with them.
I was very pro Natty in the beginning, and the scene then wasn't as good as it was now. I won the Scottish Natural Opens. I don't know when I won it, 2016, 2017. I was only winning it, so it doesn't even count. Went to Brits, came second, but again, it was like maybe 10 in that.
Right.
Done a few of the Worlds then, but quite different.
Aye.
It's so much better now. I almost wish I could do it now.
Do it back again.
It's such a good scene now.
You were saying this is the first of the taper sessions because we're competing at the weekend, so bearing in mind you've done a full prep then, and we're getting into this last week, how is the body feeling for that?
This prep's been quite difficult. I've picked up a few niggles along the way. Getting older now, I'm 38. Had loads of injuries over the years. It's actually, I've managed to sort of rehab I would say niggles, not injuries. Things like, going for dumbbell press in certain federations, they'll let you press it from the shoulder. So I've been teaching myself to press it from the shoulder with the heavy weights, whereas before I just used to clean every rep. So that brings in, like, my shoulder not enjoying that as much, my neck not enjoying it, dumping it down, and picked up like a wee forearm niggle as well. The back tightened up with my deadlift, I failed a bit. It's just strongman, that's what happens. You just learn to manage them as best you can.
Since it's a taper session, I'll ask you on both sides, right? If it wasn't a taper session, what would be going through your head throughout the day before that session? I'm sort of laser focused on it, so much so that it affects everyone around about me usually. If I've got a heavy lift to do that night, I'm at a sort of stage in my kind of career or journey, whatever you want to call it, that I generally have one top set to do when I'm peaking, and then some back offs, and all I'm thinking about is that top set. So all day I'm trying to gear my whole day towards achieving that. It's like the most important thing in my day is to hit that top set. Yeah.
Today, obviously, is a wee bit different. The taper session, I know I can do it with my eyes shut and probably naked or whatever. It's just about keeping the muscle memory there, remembering the movement, try to keep it snappy. But yeah, if it was last week, I'd be a different person before this. I wouldn't really want to talk probably. I'd be kind of just thinking about my build up towards that. And I think a lot of it is, strongman is that kind of mental aspect.
Absolutely.
Of, I would be pulling towards a 1 rep max, and the warm ups I'm thinking, this doesn't feel good, man. Like, that 180 feels heavy, like, I've got double that to go, what I mean? It's like, so, try and gear everything towards the sessions and the sets that night. But, life, work, family,
100%.
Always all work.
Always there, isn't it? So on taper day, and obviously you're trying to keep it fairly consistent. Are you still having the same? I know you know you're going to come in and you could do it without kit and you could do it no bother, but you still think about it throughout the day. Maybe not quite as much, but is it still a thought process towards it? Because I would imagine at the level you're at, you maybe don't want to lose that focus because that slip could make you slip for the weekend. You'd rather keep it every time, I guess. But
yeah, you're totally right. Monday's probably every day is kind of different for me. Monday's probably my one day where I do let my focus up a wee bit, especially because Monday's my days with the boys and they were off school today.
Yep.
So I've been away and keeping them happy and busy.
Aye.
Normally a Monday for me is in the house just writing programs for folk and getting back to coaching videos, maybe get some physio and then cook some meals. So my Mondays are normally a lot different and it would be in my mind, but when the boys are on holiday I need to focus on them. So I'm quite glad it was a deload session tonight because it requires a bit less focus.
Let's go. If you can up to you can think comp, you can think top set in a main week or peak lift again. What gets you hyped? What goes on up there that gets you in the zone? I know you just mentioned, some people might not hear it, you just mentioned about no talk to people. But what else? Like, what gets you in the zone? What's in my mindset?
It's a lot of thinking, but wouldn't necessarily recommend, but I think a lot about what some of the other guys are doing.
Right.
I'm thinking about who my main competitors are, especially this close to a comp.
Yeah.
Thinking what they are maybe posting on Instagram, what I know they're capable of, what they've done in previous competitions, and how close am I to what I need to do to win or to pick up big points. If I'm further out for a competition, it's more focused on just almost previous experiences of what it feels like when you didn't hit a lift in a comp, or to know quite achieve something that you want to do. And I'm trying to remember that, even stuff like my childhood, that I've always think back to, like, my famous if you want to say it, things I've said, like, don't be shit. It's like all comes back to that, fuck all these cunts. I say quite a lot because it's like constantly I feel like I'm in a battle against other people, and I try and just remind myself. I think that's why I say fuck all these cunts, because I'm like, right, they can do this.
Yeah.
If you didn't fucking do it, somebody's going to do it.
They're going to do it.
And that's
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
So that's kind of what I keep coming back to.
I like that. So, I'm going to ask you a question. So I think I touched on it with Taz before, because obviously, again, you've been all into this prep for the weekend, and we're given, like, I know from my own experiences, prepping for the qualifiers and stuff, we're all competing against each other, but we all tend to go and train with each other as well. Do you think that benefits you, or do you think that doesn't, like, in terms of, you see what they're doing, does it push you to do more, or do you take away from it and going, fuck, I need to up my game?
I think you've hit it right on both sides of the coin there. I found it quite interesting when I was first getting into the sport that you would go and train with other people, and I felt it was quite weird. But I kind of get it now because it brings your level up, and certainly there's maybe 6 events in a comp normally. So we can't all be strong at every event, unless you're going to win and be a champion, but even then you're going to have weaker events. So you can almost see what guys do, and I think that's generally what happens, but I think you can see what other guys do in other events. But I think the reason strongmen do it is we're all a bit fickle, and we all are like, am I strong enough?
Aye.
And we go and they're like, oh, aye, what weight's that? That's 70 kilo, oh, I can do that. I'm all right, I'm actually ready. Whereas when you yourself, just train away. Exactly. I'll cut that bit. I think part of it, when you go and train with other guys, it's almost to just remind yourself that you are actually ready, because we all have doubts. And it's quite a good thing in a way. If you feel a bit more confident, a bit more comfortable going into the competition. But also for me, doing arm over arm at the weekend, that's a week event for me. I'm watching everybody to see how, what and why and what they're doing that's better than me, so I can catch up a wee bit. Try different techniques.
I like that. Do you think maybe as well, it makes you feel a bit more comfortable going into a competition with the same people you've been kind of training with? Like it's like almost like the same environment. It just becomes, you're not just competing against them in your head on training days, but then it becomes like, I know you're competing against them one on one, but it's a comfortable environment. You've been training with them for so long, you get used to it.
Yeah.
And you're almost able to go in and just then switch it on, hopefully.
I think that's more the case for like a novice lifter or a novice competitor, because you're going to eventually go to comps if you keep doing it long enough that you're not going to know people and you're not going to train them, and you just have to get in there and get fucking on with it. But I think especially people coming into sport, it is good for them that way, because they do feel a bit more comfortable going into that environment.
That was, I think, we missed out on your introduction, because you've been over in Iceland competing recently as well. So that would have been a different, you'd have been going there with people you didn't know, so we're just touching on that there.
Competed twice in Iceland. I can't remember, was that last year? Last year.
Aye.
So I went over in the summer, I didn't know anybody. So that was a bit like, whew, I didn't even know who was driving me about or anything. You just have to get on with it and try and enjoy it and get to know them. And whereas then at the Magnus, I'd met a couple of them, and the rest of the guys, you just have to kind of get on with. Some people you can tell are quite happy to chat, others not so much, and that's fine. That's life in general. But I had the opportunity to compete abroad a number of times, and if there's pros and cons to it, but there's so many good things to gain it. It's a no-brainer for me.
No,
to do
absolutely. It. So I'm going to ask you. You can answer it based on like your favourite lift. What goes through your head for that heaviest lift? Say, what is your favourite, like deadlift, overhead, something?
I don't even know if I've got a favourite, to be honest. Let's say squat.
Let's say squatting. So then, say you've just peaked for the top set and you've got the biggest weight you can hit in that bar. What's going through your head at that point? I know you maybe not be talking to people. What is going on in Beef's head before he gets under that bar, or even as he's getting under it? What's going on? What's getting?
I think we all kind of have a process. So for me, I'll not put any warm up kit on until, like, I'll put shoes on obviously, but I'll not have belts not on until my last warm up. I'll listen to anything until the last warm up, and then, like yesterday, I hit 300 for 5 in the squat, and that was a massive PB for me. I wanted the classical music on because I'm in, if it requires a wee bit of thought and a wee bit of kind of what's the right word? Just being a bit switched on and thinking about how you're moving. Like if it's deadlift, you just want to grab it and rip it.
So you might have been touching on that there. I was going to say, do you visualise it? Or do you just send it? So that what you're meaning? You're sitting visualising.
Visualise it. You sort of figure out how it's feeling every lift.
Yeah.
You visualise it, and then you've got your process you go through. So whatever kit you need, right? Make sure it's on. Am I feeling right? Do I need some salts? Sometimes I don't. You know, I tend not to bother about music too much, but if it is a 1 rep max or PB, I tend to just like a specific song on. I'm enjoying a bit of classical now, which is kind of weird. And then just try to make sure everything's right. So when I'm stepping out with the weight on my back, I'll make sure my feet feels right. Right, am I planted? Good. Is my hands in the right position? Good. Looking at one specific area on the floor, one tiny wee dot, so I'm not looking anywhere else.
Yep.
Like, I know like Keldo likes bringing his hat down, deadlifts, whatever. For me, it's just try to focus on one spot and block everything out, because that's what you do in comp. Because if you're looking at other people in the crowd, man, you're going to lose your concentration. Eh?
Yeah.
In terms of what I'm actually thinking about, other than like my visually what I'm looking at, I'm thinking about these folks think you can't do this.
Right.
Even if it's my best mates in there, I'm thinking they all think you can't do this. Fucking prove it, show them.
So that's what you're telling yourself as well, like go prove it.
Prove everybody wrong. Show them you can do this. And you sort of create these scenarios in your head. You do it in comps as well, that these folks think you can't do this.
I like that, man. I like that thought process. Cool.
I think that's actually how I feel. A lot of my training, I actually have a bit of a nightmare sometimes if it is heavy, because I sometimes struggle to get into that level if you've been so busy all day and you've got clients in there, you try to help them and you're like, okay, I need to switch on. It's like hard to get deep into that groove.
Yeah. But, so it's easier for you in comp day then to switch it on?
100%, man. I very much rise to the occasion. If I could compete every weekend,
you would. I like that. Right, so I've got a few fun questions for you. Bear in mind, you can base this on your gym here with the boys you're in with on a regular basis. What's your gym red flag?
I've got loads. My main one is phones.
Phones? Like people sitting scrolling and stuff?
I hate it.
You hate it?
I absolutely hate it. It's like, enrages me. I've kicked Keldo's phone at his hand before because we literally just had a chat about him bettering himself, focusing, training harder, visualising, and he start like on Instagram or whatever. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Get that to fuck. I've already said to him a couple of times, just fuck this. But I just actually, even now, like I've got my phone tonight for my programming, but I even tend to either write it out or print it off, Brian, because I just didn't want to go near my phone. I think there's too many distractions there, and it's just the absolute worst thing for me because people lose the intensity.
Yeah, I feel like, so in saying that, when I'm in, mine's is usually on a tripod filming, right, even my own stuff. So I tend to miss a lot of notifications because it's filming. Maybe that's the only good thing for me, because otherwise I'd probably sit and doom scroll as well. In fairness to Keldo, that was what he said he was bad for, and he did say I am bad for it. So
everybody though, I absolutely I've trained at a commercial gym through the winter for one session a week for legs. I had an injury, I was trying to rehab it. I just couldn't believe it. I hadn't been in a commercial gym for
constant
15 years. I just couldn't believe it.
Worst training partner habits. Doesn't need to be the phone again, but What do you, you're in an environment with loads of people, right? What's the habits you see for people where you're like, I can't stand it?
I don't know. There's a couple. One I can't get out of my head is people's like nutrition, like before they come into the gym. It's not really a bad habit in the gym, but like having stuff that's high in fat or takeaways before they come and train. Like, what are you doing, man?
I agree with you.
You're killing your session straight away. It's not exactly like I'm, on top of my nutrition game, but just try to prepare better for sessions. It drives me crazy when folk are like, "Oh, I'm eating a McFlurries or what in the gym." Like, fuck off,
That's
man,
not what you really need.
Other than that, I hate it when people are really, what's the word? They're focused on the plates they need, and it has to be the right plates in specific order
Like
and all
OCD
that.
basically.
OCD, aye. I'm like, just put it. It doesn't matter which
Just
weight.
put them on.
Just put it on and lift it. Who
It's
cares?
the same weight in it, effectively. Aye.
But folk can't stand it if you've got 20s and 10s and 20s and 15s or other shot. But
you're like, nah, I need them to be right. Don't know why. It's just I don't know why. It just looks odd, doesn't it? Who in strongman would you never trust to load your plates?
Well, I heard this one on your previous podcast episodes. I was actually thinking about it, and I couldn't. I'm probably the person I wouldn't trust to load my plates, but then again, I wouldn't trust anybody else to do it. So I've found myself in situations where people have loaded the bar for me. I go and check it. I think it's wrong. I take it off and reload it, and it's the same way. Like, aye, sorry, and then you hate to apologise. And the funny one's Taz, just because he's my client. I've coached him for
proving it himself every
years.
time now, man.
And that I can't remember what it was. It was maybe 220 or 230, and it pulled 290. That is just unbelievable.
I think everybody's going to go with Taz now.
The other one I've seen, used to be a lassie trainer, and she had super long nails. I used to watch her try to load plates in the bar and say, nah, I'll do it for you. I can't help you break it.
Can't be doing that. Kind of touched on it earlier, but you said you're going, is it classical you've said music-wise now?
Yeah.
That's one of the ones, is what song gets you going, but you're saying classical's kind of keeping you...
Aye, you've got, like, sometimes I'll have stuff like Slipknot and all the usual sort of headbanger stuff. I used to always like a song, Nathaniel Rateliff in the Night Sweats, Need Never Get Old.
Right.
It's kind of like a bit country stuff,
right?
But it was more linked to a specific occasion where I was going to one of my first powerlifting meets. My mate tore a squad, and one of those things I remember, like, folk were banging on about. I was quite pro natty, and folk were trying to bring me down for it. And I always remember, I don't know why, but that song stuck in my head, and it's still on my PR playlist now. It's been on there for like 10 years, but it's one that sticks. Other than that, classical now is doing it for me. I don't know why. I've never listened to classical ever in my life.
It's just soothing you enough.
I used to do it in secret, like when I was training by myself. And then I remember Trey coming out and saying he was listening to Trey Mitchell. I was like, oh, it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me. And even yesterday I put it on for my squat, and the boys were kind of like, what the fuck's going on here? But
I like it. One that's not on here that I'm going to ask you, because I asked Taz and I didn't have a clue anyways, and I should have asked Geldo. You got a hidden talent that nobody knows about?
I'm very good at pressing women above my head.
Oh, well, we've all seen that on social media, to be fair. I like that.
That's my party trick, but a hidden talent.
Any talents that nobody knows about, maybe apart from close family?
Like when I was younger, I was phenomenal on bikes, like racing dirt bikes and mountain bikes, BMXing and stuff like that. It was really good. I actually took the boys to the pump track yesterday. No, it was yesterday, Saturday. And Cash is older now, so he's got like a bike I can pretty much fit on. That gives you a shot of that, and I've done the pump track on his bike, but
taking you back
in nearly 40 and 24 staying. The bike wasn't going to last long. But I think that's it. Maybe probably.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Stuff. Some people wouldn't have known though. That's a good thing. That's what's fun.
Every now and again, I'll share a photo of it or something. Back in the day,
I'm sure you can share one soon, and then they can all see you doing it.
Aye.
Before you done it, even before you picked the dumbbell up, you walked away. I know what you were doing over there, but then you gave yourself a second anyways, and then came in and then still gave yourself a second before you done it.
Yeah.
What's the thought process there?
Yeah, just try to take myself through the situation where I'm calm, relaxed, having a laugh, talking. Try to put myself into that situation, right? This is comp.
Yep.
You're in your comp. doesn't matter there's nobody there, just visualise that you are there in the stadium. It's time to go, it's time to switch on. You know, it's only 15 kilo and what will be on Sunday, but just try to switch on that wee bit, focus, look at one dot on the tree or one bit of the dumbbell, the cloud, whatever it is. That's it, and concentrate.
Am I right in saying on Sunday it's at Grangemouth, so it'll be outside anyways in Oldham? Is that why you're replicating it out here? To
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
get that mindset already that, aye, alright, I might need to pick somewhere to look at and just go with it?
Exactly, just to get used to the movement of the clouds, because it is
Aye.
off-putting. To be honest, I've done my whole prep in there. When I started prep it was dark, so it didn't make much difference. But I thought I'd just come out tonight, try to be as specific as possible. Sometimes I'd even have the singlet on,
Well,
you know, but
aye.
just because it feels slightly different,
Aye,
slightly
it's a bit
slippier.
different material as well.
Yeah.
So how did that feel? I know you're saying it's still lighter than Sunday, but how did it feel?
Yeah, that's really easy. So, as I say, I've had a couple of issues with my shoulders leading into it. My dumbbell was feeling unbelievable, unbeatable, and then I picked up niggles, so it's just started feeling good the last week
That's
or two.
actually how the shoulder line's all right after.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So it's good confidence builder, and just know that that's an event I can really try and push and challenge on.
Keep you ticking over for the next few days anyways until Sunday, innit? That's just good.
And even though, like we were touching on earlier, like I've not really been focused on this session, so that's the sessions where I tend to come in, I'll not be as intense. But I feel like now I could put confidence in that and hit a few reps anyway. So
and it would be
position,
no doubt for it. I'd imagine that's one of the things I'd asked if you were doing, like, see if you were doing your, say it was comp like you were doing tonight, I would ask you like any thought in your head that you might doubts that you might not hit it, but right now you're saying pretty comfortable and confident that if it was right now, I could throw that in there and hit it, no bother.
Yeah, I would agree. Tonight on that 90 kilo, I'd blitz it. It's not the case in every event, especially in most preps. That's not the case.
Aye.
I'd be very on edge, very tense, nervous, self-doubt. You just try to visualise, remember that you've worked towards this like 5% every week for 10 weeks, you know. Like, try to think an event like last year's Scottish Honest Man in the SEC, we had axle into log.
Yep.
And I can't remember the weights, I think it's 140 and 150 or something like that.
Something like that, aye.
So like we've been working towards it every week, multiple sets of 2s and 3s and 4s, and so you're thinking, well, I hit 2 sets of 4 last week.
Aye.
Tonight I've got 1 set of 3. It's just a wee bit more effort, a wee bit more intensity, you know, and use that confidence with last week into this week. That's where the consistency comes in your training.
See, what you were talking about just before we touched on it, the self-doubt and stuff. So even, I think it's quite interesting to know, like you said before, you've won Scotland's on both platforms. You finished second in UK's, and you'd still walk into a comp that arguably you could walk in and win any day of the week, especially if it's a good day for you, right? But you've still got that self-doubt there. Does that still hit you at times, and you still have to try and switch on? And do you ever then sit and go, when you're sitting down to yourself, do you sit and go, mate, you've won it already, just go and do it again? Like, do you ever try and tell yourself that, or is that something that's out?
I do try and tell myself that. I think guys are improving all the time.
Aye.
People are learning more about the sport all the time, like all aspects of the sport, not just the weights.
Aye, of course.
It's different events each time. You're getting older for me, and then it's how well recovered am I? You can't make every day the exact same.
No.
And you know, like this morning, my wee boy was up being sick at 5 o'clock, right? So you just got to deal with it, you know, and get on with it.
Absolutely.
So these are the kind of things you come across. But everybody has self-doubts, and certainly if you've had a tough week at work or arguments with the family, or all that stress is there. And you know, I've been doing it a long time, so you understand that will affect the session,
of course.
And that's where those doubts come in. Missed a meal, or didn't have my Rice Krispies square in the win, or you know what I mean, all that sort of thing. How's the body feeling for the session before? But I think in terms of the actual competing and just go and do it again, the guys are improving all the time. There's new guys coming along all the time, and people's lives are changing. You know, some people for the better to make them more competitive. And I think you can almost lose sight of where you're trying to go sometimes as well. So I've had that kind of through the winter a wee bit. Where you're like, where am I going with this? You know, am I still trying to win? Am I just trying to go down there? And
right, aye.
You know, it's obviously we're trying to win, but realistically, where am I?
Try to be realistic about your expectations, innit?
Exactly.
One of the things I will ask you down the line, you can maybe think of it now if you want, is one of your most humbling moments, right? But see, just to touch on what we're saying there, even that you've won both of them already, you've done well in UKs, you've travelled abroad and competed at like very decent levels, you've done giants. So I think it's quite shows like a good human aspect and very humbling that you're still doubting yourself and you're still respectful to not only the ones you're competing against now, but then some of the new guys coming through. I think that shows a good level of how you are in your head. Do you know what I mean? Like there's people that could probably be there. I'm not saying MD in our leagues are because I actually think most of them are pretty decent.
Yeah.
But there is you could quite easily walk in there and be like,
I have an
I'm not
arrogance.
interested in you. I've won it before. I'm here to do it again. Like you
Yeah.
could be like that, and you're not. And I think it's quite humbling, especially for people that are maybe the first times competing in the finals this year.
Yeah.
They're getting to see that you're showing them respect. I think that's maybe a nice.
No, I think I've probably been on the other side of that.
Yeah.
I've had guys when I was coming up to the ranks, and people probably, I would have put money on myself probably never winning it, and I think I've been around those characters who have been supremely arrogant and full of themselves and fucking dickheads, to be honest with you. And there's still some of them competing. I don't give a fuck who's listening, but there's no need to be like that.
No, you're right.
Because all these people who think they're above everybody, they get chopped down eventually.
Yeah.
They get chopped down off somebody like me. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be happening genetically. I'm better than some people, better than most maybe. I've worked really hard to get here. But if you see pictures of me when I was a wee guy,
I've seen back in your rugby days as well. Like.
And these people can be more genetically gifted, and you just got to outwork them, and that's it, and outlast them.
I think that shows a good. I think if people were coming through, I think that's what they should be looking to. You don't need to be that way. You could be the best when you genetically when you come in, but you could quite easily get knocked back off people who just put the effort in. I think that's a good way to look at it.
Because out there, I done a motivational talk with a rugby team recently, and I was trying to get across to them that they just won a league and they've moved up a league and try to reset their goals, reset their vision of what they're trying to achieve. You've got to keep in your head, and this son I always had in my head, there's somebody out there working hard than you, and you must work harder than them every session, or try, or at least believe you are, and prove to yourself that you are, because somebody will be working harder than you.
Definitely. You're right. You're right. Beef, why strongman over anything else? I know you had rugby before, but then why strongman? And it could have been after rugby.
Yeah, I think maybe that's kind of similar conversation to what a lot of people would say, is that I watched it as a kid. Never really imagined that I would have the opportunity to do it, but I was always the kind of guy as a young kid, like, my dad would be like, right, I'll get slabs of it. I'll get slabs. Like, if we're laying a patio or something, and I'll be like trying to carry as many bricks as I could, and just to show off, just to try and show I was strong. And I was never really that strong, but I think it just was a natural thing for me. Although I played rugby, the gym kind of made me the player I was. Having the power to break through tackles, I was never that skillful. And then again, it's the case of people saying you can't do stuff. Like when I fractured my back playing rugby, consultants were saying, well, you can't play rugby anymore. I'm like, well, what about weights? Like, manage it on pain. I'm like, fuck you, man, I'm going to do what I want to do. And then, I needed someone to channel my kind of anger and aggression into, and someone to work towards. I needed to train. I needed someone to work towards, and just by chance stumbled across a guy who done strongman at a good level, who was my physio, a private physio for my back. And I was just at him constantly, like I dug with a bone, asked some questions, and he had some kit in the gym, and we used to, even when I was rehabbing my back, it was like grip tools, like the Rolling Thunder. I didn't know what it was, but he was like, I'll try that, and you get a half decent score on it, and one thing led to another.
It just brings you into it. Then we've obviously spoken about, especially maybe in the darker times when it's colder and everything else in here, or times when you suffer with niggles and injuries. What keeps you doing it even when they are getting tough? when these sessions are tough, or just when the times are tough through this sport alone?
Yeah.
Not the factors out with, just this sport. What keeps you doing it?
In the sort of last few years or so, I've kind of stumbled across these motivational things on YouTube, like Machiavelli motivation. And some of it's kind of shite, but like that desire to push through. It's just what I do now as a strongman. Like, if you want to be successful, you just have to get it done. It doesn't matter. The feelings you take them out of the equation. Like, it doesn't matter how you feel. You need to do it. Like, regardless of what it is, if it's a red warning snow, like, I'm coming. I don't care what the fuck's happening. I'm coming to the gym and I'm training. And it's going to be someone I've come across in my family life as well, that they understand. Like, my kids understand now. My missus, as much as I have to kind of find a balance in other aspects of life, like, she knows that I have to train. And it doesn't matter what it is. Like, I've come in with a broken leg. I've come in with limbs and whatever it is. And I don't know why. I think everything in your life shapes you, right? And I'm not going to go into too much, but there's things in life that shape me. And I've seen people overcome stuff. And I'm like, well, if they can do that, that's like way bigger than me with a sore back coming out to do some squats. So just fucking get it done.
Do you think then, strongman has changed you outside of the gym?
Massively.
In your personal life?
Massively. Like, obviously brought a lot more confidence, brought me like more friends and stuff, like, because a bigger social group. Like, you can lean on people, but then help them in the same in other regards. But I'm much more confident, much more outgoing. And when I played rugby when I was younger, I was always wanting to have a laugh and like happy for the joke to be on me. But then never really had much input to the group as such until I was like much older. But I think I'm much more confident in my own abilities to do things, and I think that's not just with the weights; it's through the experiences that the weights have given me. You know, competing at these high levels and being around people that you're in awe of, or like, you know, you look up to and you're like, well, I'm hunting them down, and then you beat them, or things like that. It's a lot of confidence and kind of discipline in that approach.
So I'll give you the one you were thinking about. Right? Most. I'll give you that before I give you the high one.
I still don't know the answer for it, but go for it.
Oh, it might come out now. The most humbling moment you've had in strongman?
Yeah, we've chatted about this earlier. I still don't really know what the most humbling moment. Like, there's moments where I've felt totally out of my depth. Like, at Giants Live, Britain's, like, I could not have trained any harder for that. I actually trained myself way too hard under the cover, trained myself on the ground, and you go there and it's like 150 kilo farmers. Like, the week before, I was running, sprinting about them out there. And I could only take them a couple of metres because I was, in most competitions I can rise to the occasion, but in that arena, I knew that was my only chance maybe to get to Worlds, and I just totally stressed myself out and couldn't hold on to them, and it was ridiculous, like, looking back, but it's one of the few times that's actually happened. It's quite disappointing, so I think humbled in that aspect.
That's a fair one, to be fair. Aye, that's a good one, considering you're on the high from Scotland and everything else, and you go in there and maybe do feel like it. Takes me into the next bit then. The best moment you've had in the sport?
Kind of goes hand in hand. Like, over the years, my goal at the start was never to go to Giants Live. Like, it didn't even register that was going to be a possibility. So, like, obviously, to walk out at Giants Live, the Scotland flag in the World Tour finals was just mind blowing. Like, but then, like, you step back, like, winning Scotland's what that felt like. Like, it actually caused me a lot of problems after it because of the enormity of what had happened mentally for me. I found it really hard to deal with.
Right.
I've spoken about a wee bit, like, the guys in here know the script of that. And then you can overcome it. But actually, you know, winning something gave me horrendous anxiety. And it's like, what the fuck is that all about?
You're almost putting that pressure on yourself to win it again and again and again.
Aye, or just step up again and you feel like, I'm actually tapped out, man. I can't get any more out of this. But there's been loads of moments, like, I remember when your goals are smaller and it was all I wanted to do was pull. I remember 250 deadlift, all I wanted to do was pull, but eventually you overcome that, and there was a powerlifting meet with prep to pull 300, and I pulled it, and it was like the biggest lift of the day. It was the Natural Federation. And now I can pull it beltless for fun, but what that meant to me then was like unbelievable, man. It was like the best day of my life at that point. I think these things always change. So that's partly the good thing about in strongman or whatever kind of journey you're on.
Yeah.
When your goals change, you get that feeling over and over and over again.
Winning.
Try and celebrate the PBs, like small PBs in this. Who cares?
They're the ones that win, even on a taper week for you.
That's what keep you going.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten before a training session?
One that always sticks in my mind when I was I'm a bit more clued up now, but I'm not necessarily disciplined with it. But I was skint and we'd just moved into the house. We were struggling for money, and I think I was late home for work, and I was trying to, like, again, no mystery. I was like, I need to eat something, just go. And I had tuna, and I'd been, I knew that some people have like a pineapple with their chicken, but I didn't have chicken, so I had tuna, pineapple. I was like, I've not really got nothing to eat this. We had no rice, so I took oats. I was like, well, that's healthy. Blended it up with like some warm water. And I tried necking that on the way to the gym, and it was horrendous.
That'll be the best one I think I'll hear. I'm not going to lie.
Absolutely horrendous.
Biggest gym fail.
As in, like, weight?
Anything you want. Biggest gym fail. Whatever you want.
Had millions over the years, man. One that sticks in my mind because it hurt. It really was sore. Was when I was sort of back in my very early stages. I think before I even competed, I was benching one day, and I didn't really understand the differences between bars. So it was in a kind of commercial gym, but they had some powerlifting bars as well. So we normally trained on like a Texas power bar. We were benching, but this day there was a different bar in the rack, and it was like an Olympic bar. So they call it the end, spinning them a lot faster. And I always gripped thumbless at the time. And I remember we were all chatting. This is probably why I hate talking so much between sets. But everybody was chatting, having a laugh at a group of guys. They were all like brothers, so they all had a laugh. 4 of them, and then a couple of other training partners. And I was sort of having a laugh, and I unracked 140 bench. That was quite hard for me then, but I could hit I was probably going to like 152 for a double or something. So it was like 140. Unracked it, took it down, pressed it. As I pressed it, I wasn't paying attention. It rolled straight off my hands and just landed on my chest. And that was one of the sorest fails ever.
Physically and as well.
All my intercostals were fucked for weeks, man. That was really sore. And that was the kind of gym that was tidy with birds in it as well. So you're like,
Eagle was baffled. What event in the sport do you think deserves the most respect? I know most of them kind of do deserve their own element of respect, but what's the one that stands out to you to go, that needs it more than anything?
I think, you could make arguments for loads of events, like heavy yoke is up there. But for me, like, see a stone carry for max distance, I love it because I think people give up early because they hate how it feels.
Yeah.
And I think challenging your mindset and even just having to train it every week to failure for multiple sets is a really hard thing to do. So it tends to be something I'm generally good at, but I think it's because I can almost tap into that, like, I need to do this because it's an easy event to get better at. And you don't necessarily need to be genetically gifted to be good at stone carry.
This one will be fun because I've been around the Scotland game a lot with a lot of them. You've went into Giants Live, you've done UKs, you've got all of them, and you've went over to Iceland. Who's got the scariest game face you've ever seen in strongman?
I have been around a lot of guys, man.
Yeah. There must be one that just stands out to you more than you've went.
I remember when I first came into the sport, there was a guy, people listening to this now probably don't even remember him, but there was a guy called Paul Benton for Lawrence Cup, and he was like, when the Stokemans were top 2 in Scotland, he was right on their heels. He done Giants, he done Europe's Strongest Man, he won UK's, he's the only Scotsman to ever win UK's Strongest Man. And when he switched it on, he was a scary individual, man. I'm trying to think of any kind of more international guys. The more international guys tend to not be as like intense for longer. They can turn it on like literally just before they go, and that's something I've tried to develop over the years. Like having a wee bit of a laugh and a wee bit of chat before I go if I need to, or like this, or talking to the camera, and then just as you step up, switch it on, like 10 seconds. It's something I've tried to watch others and change over whenever I'm competing. And Paul Benton, is there anybody really intense at higher levels? Mick Trooper, he really switches on.
He does, got a different game face, I guess.
And he comes across like a bit of a dick on the cameras. I think I never really liked him, but he's actually pretty sound out with the sport because we only see him when he's competing.
Aye, exactly. Aye.
And you put all when he's in front of the camera, but when you put him away, he's actually seems quite nice, and he was quite helpful to me. But you just see him just bang switching, like laser focus. Not as much a game face, but I definitely.
No,
The
I mean, I
focus
like
is there.
guy that I suppose it's a game facing his own way into it. He changes this character effectively to go and lift. So I know I get you with that one. How do you think today's session went then? It's a taper session, drink, everything all good?
Yeah, it was fine. Like I've seen myself come in and taper sessions and they feel absolutely horrendous.
Yeah.
And considering how active I've been today, which is no normally the case for me, this potentially and doing this, it potentially had the opportunity to go down that route. But I feel very powerful. I feel very strong. So no niggles. Smashed the weights out easier than I probably would have expected to.
Moved
So
very easy, aye.
I really happy. I mean, it's not that big a weight, but I'm really happy and just kind of in recovery mode now.
Good.
For the weekend.
Competition mentality. What kind of competitor would you say you were?
Gritty, gutsy, calculated. You've got to pick up points when you can, and it's not always the case. Even now, I'm not always the case that I'm going to go in and win every event. Like, even I won Scotland's both times, I only won one event each time. I was just consistent. Consistent is probably the best way to describe me. Consistently there or thereabouts. But I like to think that when the push comes to shove, I'm fairly gutsy, fairly gritty.
Yeah, aye, absolutely. Do you enjoy the pressure of it?
Love it.
Love it. That what you thrive on?
I absolutely love it. And I hate it in the morning. And before it, but I love being in that environment where you just feel the weight on you, the eyes on you, because it's like almost what I try and put myself in training, where I'm like, well, they all think you can't do it. There's people in the crowd didn't know me. They might, can you do it? Can you know?
Aye.
And then other competitors hoping you didn't.
I hope you don't. I know.
Exactly. So as much as they're your mates, they still want to beat you.
They want to see you lift it in terms of a sport, but they want to beat you, so they hope you don't lift it. It's a weird one.
Exactly. Aye. So I absolutely love the pressure. The bigger the comp, the better for me, apart from Jack Cyberpunk.
We'll get there again, I'm sure. Given you are one, and you've been around them as well quite a lot, what separates a winner from everybody else that competes? I know what you're going to tell me, because the same word I think we used previous ones, consistency. Like turning up on a day, absolutely. Of course you need to win on a day, but what do you think?
Consistency is definitely there. I think sacrifice is probably a big word as well. Like, I've so this prep, I've reintroduced me have an ice bath, right? Every night, midnight, have an ice bath. Why? Does it help me? No, probably no. Mentally, it feels like a weight off my shoulders when I have one. Or after I have one, during it, it's hard. And it's things like that I bought into that I believed made me harder to beat.
Yeah.
Trying to just out-train everybody, even if I'm not, I feel like I was. So making that sacrifice, just trying to do more than what the other guys are doing, even if you are or no, as long as you believe you are, try to sacrifice for it, and just no miss a session, things like that, no miss a meal.
What's harder, training or competing?
Training.
I think everybody's on the same boat with that one. Obviously, a lot more need to turn up for it, but
obviously competing, like the weights are heavier usually. You're having to push to extreme levels, so that can be really taxing and nerve-wracking. But I think training consistently when all of life's problems are in the way, all the noise around you, like coming here as much as I love all the guys, try to help them spot them, and you're like, fucking hell, I need to pull a 340 deadlift for reps. It's like, do you be selfish? Do you know training's definitely the hardest. Try to, if kids are fucking, had been battered at school or something like that. You're like, oh, you know, I need to go train today. Training's definitely hardest. Make sacrifice that, even if you're coming half an hour late, just get it done, man.
I think people understand the brutality of the sports strongman, and I don't just mean coming in and like you say, putting yourself at extreme times in the gym, going to kind of pass out mode most of the time. I just mean like as a whole strongman, or like giving up things. I think people understand how brutal it is really, because you do give up stuff in home life, you do put things aside, or you do miss times, or.
I think people in the sport tend to understand it towards, you know, the longer they spend in the sport. I think people outside the sport probably find it hard to comprehend what we do. Like, you pull 2 lorries, like you rolled a car, like
you spent 4 hours doing it, but you
exactly that the time it takes. But I think the sacrifices you make along, I'll use the word sacrifice again, like all my rugby mates and that, like I didn't speak to anyone anyway. Like if I was to bump into them, I'd give them a hug and tell them I love them, and you know, but I didn't go to social gatherings anymore because it just affects my training. I didn't drink anymore, you know, all that stuff. Like people are like, he's just zoned in a strongman, like, but I've been that for 10 years.
These are the sacrifices you're making.
Exactly, and I miss that social connection, but I didn't miss it as much as I would hate to fail a deadlift. So that's why I do it.
Especially if it costs you a title.
Exactly.
You hate it for that
matter. And even if failing it in the gym, I know it won't cost me the title, but you believe it does.
You believe that, of course. So, what's your favourite feeling in strongman? Not just winning, because that's obvious, but
winning's pretty cool. The obvious one's like pulling a deadlift PB at any weight, at any stage. I think that feels unbelievable. But I think as well, something you've failed before, like regularly, or you've been working towards for years, you know you've failed it, and then when you hit it,
the feeling of that is
unreal.
Aye.
For me, the one that stands out for me is the Scotland Strongest Man last year, the 200 stone load. Like I know I probably wasn't going to win the title, but I know it put me in with a chance. I'd hit 200 stone in here umpteen times, man. I'd repped it in here. Could I load it in a comp? It took me, they'd only been in the comps for 5 years or something, but you know, it took me 5 years. I kept failing it, kept failing it,
at the end of the competition. The last thing to do. I get that. That was probably a highlight for you. That was class to watch.
Probably a highlight. One of the major highlights of my strongman career, man.
No wonder. What keeps you motivated long term? Like you said, now you're getting a wee bit maybe age category starting to play. What's keeping you motivated though?
It was always just what's next. Like reset your goals. Such a fucking shite answer, but reset your goals. So like, I've goals for everything. You know, I'll have goals for this. Like, but like the main ones, like the 400 deadlift, I've still not hit it. I've been very close. The 180 log, numbers massively are a driver for me. Mm-hmm. But then it was always a case of what have I not done yet? Like I hadn't competed in the Champions League. I'm like, I could fucking beat them guys, but I didn't get an invite. And then eventually I get an invite, and it falls through, and then I get another invite, and I couldn't go. And I'm like, eventually I get to go, and it was class. And I've done that. Right, I want to go regularly. You know, what's the next stage? And just try to like tick things off along the way. When I first started, it was people. Like, who's on the fucking hit list? Like, if Scott listens to it, he'll probably laugh, but for years it was Scott Mill. I coached him, but it was like, he was fucking awesome when he started, and he was smashing me in every event. Yeah. And then I was like, I could match him on overhead, and I was like, right, get him, like, keep going, and then just worked my way up the list. You know, it was good people, and then people drop out the sport, and then just make like personal vendettas. Like even though it wasn't a vendetta, but try and create that in your head.
It's fun because that's
hunt them down.
People that you would call friends as well.
Absolutely,
you're with them quite a lot. You train with them, you compete against them. It's probably in group chats with them, like, and then
it's kind of weird. Aye, because again, Lewis Jack, one of my best mates in strongman, and we had so many comps and battles together. He beat me in 90% of them. But I love the guy, but he was another one. I was like, I'm fucking going to beat him this year. And, you know, Kel would be in here, was like, Lewis Jack's doing that, or Zakey's doing that, I'll fucking show them, you know, and that was the main thing for me. So I didn't know if Lewis probably knows, but, you know, we had chats with it and stuff, but it was people. People was the main driver for me.
No, I like that. And what would you tell somebody who is starting somewhere?
Don't. No. Play the long game. Try, you know, it depends where they are in their age and stuff, but like I've just picked up a 19-year-old guy who's got potential, and he's just getting started, and it's like, your time will come. Just play the long game. Try and train sensibly. Eat sensibly, do other stuff sensibly, and play the long game, man. You're not going to go straight. Only freaks go straight to the top straight away. Just play the long game, build up your experience. And I was talking to a person I was talking to who's done very well in the sport in a very short period of time. I was talking to them last week, and they were saying, I should be doing better now, and blah blah blah. I said, how many comps you actually done? And they said 8. You're a baby in the sport, regardless of what level you've got to already. I've done 80, or more than 80 now.
Aye.
You know what I mean? I'm one of the few that's done that level now.
Aye.
But just play the long game. Don't go for it too quickly.
Aye.
And try and enjoy it.
No, I'd agree with you. I think I'd only done 3 or 4 before I took the qualifier on.
It's a big jump.
It was a massive jump. I think that's why I took the pressure off going into it. But do you know that way? The weights wise, I felt ready, but experience wise, no.
Aye.
Could have probably done more intervals and took it on, but like the weights wise, I feel like I was there or thereabouts. But everything else, no. Experience wise, where I was lacking, and I think that's where people struggle as well. They just your experience, you're not there, and there's also like we're talking about these mentality things. I think you need to go at a different level in that. And there was a couple of times, and I spoke to Ross about it after I done that. I said we had to change because I wasn't ready. I wasn't fit enough. Like sounds daft because you're doing short bursts, but I was like my recovery in between wasn't fit enough. There was so many
Especially
factors.
when if your strength level's lower than some of the guys there, and you're taking yourself up to that intensity.
And I'm not
It's
ready.
hard to have the fitness levels as well as that intensity.
Exactly. And watching some of the boys there and that, they would go back and I'd like start to get tight, cramps hitting in. They look fine. I know they might be hiding it, but they were looking, and then they would go out and smash the next event, and I was like, oh fuck, here we go again. Like
I think as well, if you're like I done a qualifier this year again, even though I qualified just for like fun, I would say, but it's a bit of comp fitness as well, putting yourself in that environment, re-teaching yourself to take yourself up and down between events, because the guys with experience will be like, calm down, what do I need today, eat, drink, whatever, and then bring themselves back up again, whereas people who are relatively new in the sport will be at the high level all the time. Fucking hell.
That was it.
So I was going to say the other wee thing I would try and get say to people is celebrate the small wins. That's a massive thing, man. Like I still do it. If I shoulder press an extra rep on the 50s or something like aye, but I'm 40 kilo behind in my log press. Who cares? You're stronger than you've ever been before.
Exactly. You need to work on that.
That is the key for long-term success.
Keep celebrating the wee wins.
Absolutely, man.
That's good, man. As an athlete, how do you want people to remember you? I know you've probably not even thought about it.
No.
But now you can think about it off the cuff. Suppose you're always going to have people who are going to remember you as Scotland's strongest man.
Yeah,
but
I think just
as a general athlete,
being approachable, being honest. I think that's what I do. I think I pride myself now on my longevity, and I've got like goals in my head. Like I'm already done more finals than anybody else. But I want to do 10, and I want to do 5 podiums, because there's only so many people done 5 podiums and things like that. And it's, I think longevity, people will remember that anyway, regardless, because I've been about for forever.
Been a long time.
But I just been approachable. I feel like anybody can talk to me. I think.
No, absolutely. I think I've noticed that even when I came in years ago, and I think one of the boys dragged me up to speak to you at one of the finals, and that was the first time I ever spoke to him. What does success mean to the Beef? It could be training, it could be out with. What does success mean in general?
I don't know. I've not stopped yet. So winning clearly wasn't a success. I thought like going to Giants was going to be success, and then you just end up wanting more.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really know what it is. I'm telling myself now that a couple more years at Scotland's until I'm 40, and then go and be world champion at Masters. That's what success looks like. If that was to happen, I don't know if that'll make me happy. Like I don't think this makes you happy being successful, or winning stuff, and that's what success is in the sport. I didn't really know, which is probably not a great answer. But
no, it's a real answer though. That's the point. It's real.
I always thought achieving everything along the way was going to be success, and what success looked like. And it's just my mindset is then just switched to the next job. So I think if you were to ask my missus, she'll say success is when you quit strongman. But then I know I'm going to have to find someone else because
keep you ticking over.
can't-
The mind will just shut and you can't cope with that.
I can't be a normal guy painting my fence. It's just not me.
No, I believe that. One message to give to people that are watching that are either looking to start it, maybe already in it, that are pushing, that are maybe struggling. What's the one message you would give them?
Don't be shit.
Don't be shit.
Don't be
That's
shit.
a good
That's
one.
a fun one. But,
That's a good one.
Don't be scared to set your sights too high and shoot for the long game, but celebrate successes along the way, every success, regardless of what it is. Try not to compare yourself to people in the sport because everybody's at different levels and you know, we all get there at different times, so just try and enjoy it along the way, which is a really hard thing because I don't think I've particularly enjoyed it along the way. But upon reflection, you can enjoy moments of it.
Aye.
Celebrate the small wins.
I like that. Thank you very much, mate.
Always,
It's been a
mate.
pleasure. I've really enjoyed this one. It's been
Good man.
Thank you
Happy to be a
thank you
part
for
of
doing it.